What's going on, Latin Wealth family? Welcome to another episode to Wealth Wednesday. Hopefully, you guys are blessed and doing well. Before we start the show, got an exciting announcement that Jeremiah actually was Jeremiah's idea. I'm gonna give him the props. He decided that, or he suggested that we should create a community where we can come together as Latinos and learn, right? And so, as we've been doing and creating content and networking and been doing this for a while now, for the past couple of years, we've been learning a lot about what the community needs and what Latinos need, right? And we always hear that, what is it when it comes to Latinos not being able to invest or not wanting to invest? And a lot of times we hear that there's fear, lack of education. I don't see anybody else that looks like me that's doing it. So I'm kind of pulled back and I'm not going to do it myself. So we want to kind of dispel all that and we want to create a community where you can come in and you can learn from not only us but other like-minded individuals and other experts in our field, in the field of business, real estate. Like we definitely want to have a plethora of people to come into the community. So I'm giving you guys a teaser now. It should be open and ready by December 1st. So keep an eye out for that. And again, this is going to be a place where you can come, interact, watch live sessions. You can ask questions. It's not just going to be a course. It's not just going to be a PDF where you're going to have to read a 20-page PDF and you're out on your own. We really want to create a community, and maybe the reason why we took a little longer to do it is because we wanted to do it right.
That's
And
right.
we kind of have learned and looked at what other people have done great and what other people have done incorrect, right? So we want to take the time to learn and develop something that we believe could really have an impact on our community. And our sole purpose and goal in that community is going to be to help you make money, help you launch your business, help you grow your business, help you scale your business. There's going to be a plethora of information in there. I know you're like, yo, Chris, this sounds like a lot. Where are we gonna, what's the details, man? Stay tuned, very tuned, very soon. We'll have a link in the description where you can check it out and you can be a part of that community. Did I miss anything, Jeremiah? Did I get that correct?
No, you got it 100% correct. And I'm super excited about it because I can just tell you the preparation and the time and the care that we're going to take to make sure that you guys are actually getting what we're saying you're getting. We're not trying to
Mm-hmm.
distract you. We're not trying to be gurus. We're not none of this, right? We are ground level locked hands with you, in the experience. And I'm super excited because I want to hear feedback and I want you guys to tell us what you want to learn. And, we can actively give you that type of input and feedback to you as well. So, man,
Yeah.
I don't get excited about many things like
Hey.
ever, but I'm
Yeah.
excited about this. I think me and
Me
Chris
too.
are equally excited.
Yeah. I want to give a little teaser of what you expect in there. Look, I'm gonna be pulling in everybody that we've had on the podcast. I'm like, yo, do you want to pull up to the community, teach, drop some information? So there's definitely gonna be a lot more that you're gonna see in there over the course of really throughout the course of 2026.
Mhm.
I want to plan things throughout the whole year in 2027. Like this is going to be something that we're going to be doing for a while now. But I'm going to bring my marketing expertise, content creating expertise. I want to go in there and show you guys like how to launch a podcast, how to create content, how to utilize and leverage marketing the correct way.
That's right.
A lot of people, when they think of marketing, they just think of social media. That's a piece of it, but that's not the whole picture. So I want to go in there and give my expertise on that. In addition, Jeremiah is going to be dropping some knowledge on stock investing, life insurance, and also succession planning. Look, if you guys wouldn't subscribe for anything else, just those three topics, I promise you it's going to be worth it. All
Man,
right.
I'm actually interested in the marketing. I
Yeah.
I was like, I
Look,
know that stuff. I want to know how to market. I'm showing up to take notes myself because I'm
right.
trying to learn how
And
to market my stuff.
one thing, and we'll move on. One thing Jeremiah and I both spoke about is like, yo, I'm ready to give everything I
Yes.
have. So I'm not,
Yes.
everybody's talking about the word gatekeeping this year. I think that's the word of the year. We're not doing none of that. We're
At all.
literally everything that I know, I'm going to give it to y'all. And we're also going to be pulling in other people that have been guests on the show that are AI experts and, continue to ask questions. And we want to pull us together so we can win.
I mean, and I can even see us towards the end of 2026, not really trying to do courses and stuff like that, but like graduating people and getting
Yeah.
people to where they learn and they can share what they've built upon based on the courses and everything that they've learned. What have you accomplished? And then what if you start teaching? Like
Mm,
the whole thing of this is to inspire and then for
that's
you to
it.
go and start your own and build and I could just see it being something super impactful overall. That's what we
Yeah.
want. Or that's what we're
That's what we
hoping
want.
for.
Yep.
Hmm.
Speaking about impactful, we got a couple topics that we're going to hit on today. Um, the U.S. is ramping up military pressure in Latin America once again, mainly framing this pressure as counter drug operations. Look, we talked about this a couple times. We've been following this story as it's been unraveling the past couple weeks, and we know that USA, they are being very aggressive about their pursuit in Latin America, and we're also going to be talking about at the same time China is quietly ramping up economic influence, especially through venture capital and tech investments in Latin America. So we're looking at both sides. We got one side that has military ships at the shore of Venezuela, and we got one side, China. They're flying into Latin America. They're having conversations. They're like, "Yo, where can we invest?"
I feel like in the face of everything that's going on in America and with the relations that we're having with South America, this is going to be a key episode because you have like what we're doing, our whatever we're influencing, what we're doing, and then we have the counter response from our top rival, right? So it's like you can make a chart of what America's doing and then what
Hmm.
China's doing, because
Yeah,
that's
and
something that everybody's looking at. The world is looking at this,
they
by the
looking at.
way.
And look, I don't want to come on here and be like the bearer of bad news for America. We are just simply reporting and talking about what is happening. That's it. Like these are not our opinions. We'll give our opinions throughout the conversation, but the story and what's going on, this is facts.
That's it.
Right. This is fact. So, look, let's get into it. So, U.S. escalation strikes, threats, and unclear strategies is what we're going to be diving into for this first segment. Now, President Trump said he'd be proud to expand U.S. strikes from the boats to land targets in Venezuela, Colombia, and even Mexico. All right. So, he
Mm.
says that he may deploy ground troops in Mexico due to drug and immigration issues. What else? U.S. Navy has deployed a major strike group led by USS General R. Ford, the world's largest aircraft carrier, a ship only used for striking land targets, not drug boats. All right. So the conversation recently has been a lot of drug boats have been struck down. I think about 80 people have been killed in
Wow.
this situation. But now they're bringing out one of their biggest ships that is not even used for drug boats, is used to strike land targets. All right. So, if you guys been following this story, you guys know that the United States has described President Maduro as a narco terrorist with a $50 million bounty on his head top.
Oh man.
$50 million. All right. So, man, what are your thoughts about this? And we're gonna transition into the other side, what China's doing. But to me, the the first thing that came to mind is, in my opinion, something must have went wrong within the Trump administration. Maybe they have somebody that's telling Trump, "Yo, I don't think we should do this. I don't agree with this," or vice versa. And there's some friction
Yeah.
here causing you to act out of emotion to maybe do something that's you probably
Yeah.
shouldn't be doing. That's how I look at it. And I know we kind of broke down last week, like, yo, this is bigger than just the drug cartel situation and the fentanyl. We know that Venezuela
Yeah.
has the largest oil reserve in the world. This is definitely something deeper.
In the world.
Did something happen in the plan that didn't go according to plan, and now they're being a little bit more aggressive? That's just my thoughts when I first initially read this.
I think if you stop and you think about something, let's start with the fact that it's murder for hire. You put that much money on somebody's head, someone's going to do it and expect the payment of that. And that's murder for hire. And I find it weird because if you did the same thing in America, you'd be in prison for a very long time,
Mhm.
you know?
So you
And
saying
it's
if
not
if you
manslaughter. It's,
if you targeted somebody in America,
yeah.
you not only would
So if
you
someone
probably
did me
be
something,
no, I was gonna say not only would you probably be in prison, but you probably would be dead.
yeah. I mean, if you're at the level of putting millions of dollars on somebody's head, you're playing a very different game,
Yeah.
right? So I would say that you're probably in some type of murder beef that's going on. And I'm just saying that because it's weird to me how it progressed from we were trying to protect American citizens from fentanyl and from
Hmm.
drugs coming into the country because we want to stop the onslaught of drugs that's coming into the country. It went from that, and no one was buying that. Even Republicans themselves were saying, "You're just blowing people up and killing people." I can't agree with that, right? And so it went from that, and it escalated so quickly
Yeah.
to there's money on his head. Like is and this is the president saying this, and I keep saying this and I keep talking. I'm listen. If Biden's screwing up, Biden's screwing up. If Clinton, I don't care who, Obama, whoever's in there. You can't have a president who's openly right telling people to kill someone else's head of their state. That's
Gonna
that's
cause a
wild to
lot of
me.
issues.
Yeah, I just like, and then to put the drill R forward to put that aircraft carrier that's used for land, land deployments
Yeah.
of troops, essentially. What are you saying? Are you going to invade Mexico? Are you going to invade Venezuela? Like the actions that we're taking, I just don't think they're thought out. And I also, it's weird because this, and yeah, great picture. This is not, so the Gerald Ford is like, it's not a small,
No.
right?
Like how many
It's like
planes this thing?
it's a little city. Those are
Yeah.
planes. It makes the
Yeah.
planes look like
Yeah.
cars. you
Yeah.
know.
Exactly right.
So, and those are fighter jets, so they're sizable. And I'm just, so the thought is, where is this headed? And this is our response. Why did it escalate so quickly?
Hmm.
Are we in some type of, trouble? Is like all I keep thinking of is, geez, why do we need that oil so badly? I mean, we have oil in Alaska
Hmm.
that we can, pipe down from Alaska. So I'm just trying to figure out, why do we need that oil so much? What are we defaulting? What are we doing? Why is this such a rush to go in and and take captive of South America? Why are we trying to bully them? And here's the thing, that just based upon our right the next conversation we're gonna have as we transition when we transition into that, those people aren't just gonna let you come in and take over South America. That's
Hmm.
just not gonna happen. Like Venezuela we talked about, it's a very dangerous place. Because think about it. It's not just Venezuela, it's who's backing Venezuela. There's Russia, there's China,
Russia,
there's the
China.
BRICS nations that's backing up Venezuela that tells them, hey, don't worry about it. If they start and it gets serious, then we'll get serious. So my overall thought when I hear about that is, number one, murder for hire is never the answer from a president, from a sitting president. That's obscene. All right, it's just crazy to hear a president talking about killing somebody. All right, because if someone did that to Trump, everyone would be all right up in arms, like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you said that."
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's a good point. And look, this is what's the title of this article is perfect to me. Like Trump
Threatens
threatens Latin America but leaves US strategy unclear. I mean,
because of
look,
the what?
um invading Mexico, Colombia, like what I'm pretty sure again, I love to say this. I would love to be a fly on the wall when we're having these conversations, right? Like when they're having these conversations, like what's the plan here? What's the strategy? Why are we doing this? Why are we being so aggressive, right? And throughout this article, President Maduro, I don't know if I can pull it up, but he basically said he's open to um, having a dialogue. I see common ground through dialogue, and it sounds like. like, yo, let's just talk it up. I'm open to doing this. I know you guys have a $50 million bounty on my head, but I'm open to coming to an agreement, potentially as what he's saying. I don't know if he really is meaning that, but
But what does that look like? I think he is open. I think exactly what's being portrayed is actually what's going on. I think America's a bully, and I think Trump is. I think he's insane, to be honest. I've talked about this several times, but I don't know if Trump has common sense anymore. The things that he's doing is simply it's just not it's not beneficial to America. It's not beneficial to the global right, the socioeconomic presence here in America, and it's not good for the geopolitical landscape across the world. We've already isolated ourselves, ostracized our our allies that we had, Mexico, Canada, Europe. We don't get along with any of those people. None of them like Trump, right? And so America's just by themselves, and we're just gonna bomb and you know like
but
I
see,
mean, Chris, am
text
I tripping? Is it wild to you that people just are just accepting this? Like we're just gonna bomb countries. We're just gonna do
bomb and
what
just
like
I don't know, man.
is
I
that
don't
not weird to
understand
you?
it.
I think he's desensitizing us. That's what's
It's
so
no,
crazy.
100%, a
Because every
thousand.
day
That's it right there,
is something that's so wild
bro.
and
You texted me
it makes
yesterday,
no sense to where now you're cool with it. You're like, oh, he's just gonna drop a bomb on Venezuela. That's
and you know
okay.
what?
Like,
That's I think you hit the nail on the head there because you texted me yesterday. You were like, "Did you hear about X, Y, and Z allegations?"
yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, "Bro, I can't even keep up no more. Like, I don't even know." And you know what? Like, there's some things that were voted on. I think I don't want to get into it, but like the files and all that, I think
Yeah, yeah.
were voted to be released. And
Yeah.
you know, let's just say some stuff comes out about him. We're so desensitized to what he's doing. If he gives a $2,000 tax credit or, stimulus check to everybody, people will just
I
forget
s-
about it.
I saw a TikTok video that said, "Look, bring that stuff out after he gives us our check."
You know
And
what I'm
I'm
saying?
like,
Like,
I laughed about it, but then I was really sitting there and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, man, we're in a very dangerous state as America, and I've seen from the other side, both sides actually, it's a very dangerous state because the blue and the red side, both of them can be easily influenced by the people that run them,
mm,
and there's not many independent, free thinking people that are saying, well, what about the people of America? What about the people of South America? What about the innocent people in Venezuela? Not everybody's over there. That they're not all selling drugs and doing it right. So
hmm
you're just going to bomb and kill innocent people. Are their lives not worth the same amount as American lives? Like they're still humans, right? I mean, last time I checked. So it's just amazing to me how the lives of people can be devalued. We already saw that with Israel and Gaza and all
hmm
that, and we just continue to see that same type of warmongering and the devaluation of human life. And to me, that's it's sickening, to be
hmm
honest. And if
Yeah,
you support that type of stuff, then I think you're sick as well. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not trying to like
that's
cause
fine.
no drama or nothing, but like
It is what it is.
if if you don't value human life, then you're a sick individual. You're almost you got something that's not right
Yeah.
in your mind. That's that's my opinion.
No.
That's not Chris's opinion. Let me state this clearly. That's Jeremiah speaking that. I'm
Hey, you
saying
can't. Yeah, you can't be mad at that. But you know what's crazy, man? All this is going on. The USA is flexing its military
that's
muscle.
us. Yeah,
That's us. We love we gonna flex all day.
all
We
day.
gonna we gonna
Yeah,
flex these military muscles.
yeah.
China's playing a completely different game.
Completely different game.
Completely night and day, and that will transition us to what's going on with China, and China's quietly sparking Latin America's startup race. So essentially, what's going on is while America's focusing on military escalation and just a whole bunch of chaoticness, man. I honestly cannot keep up. China's building an economic influence through venture capital, I should say. They're doing it through venture capital. So Chinese firms such as Didi, Tencent, Buy Capital, Ant Group,
Mhm,
these are
mhm.
all companies and firms in China that are looking for investments in Latin America startups across Mexico. Brazil, Colombia, Peru, Argentina, and Chile. All right, so this is what's really fascinating to me. Like this kind of blew my mind when I read this earlier. China sees Latin America like China of the 1990s. They're looking at Latin America. They're like, well, yo, we see you guys. We see a rising middle class. We
Yeah.
see that there's underdeveloped markets. We
Yeah.
see that there's a huge digital transformation potential this region. How can we come in? How can we make investments? How can we what's the word I'm looking for? How can we come in and make sure that you guys have everything that you need empowered? How can we
Empowered.
empower you
Yeah.
guys by providing capital for you guys, right? Um, and yeah, this when I read that, I was like, wow, that put a lot of things in perspective for me because you said it. I'll let you break it down, but before we hit record, you were like, hey, America outsourced a lot of its stuff to China and India,
Hmm.
and you can potentially see China doing the same thing for Latin America.
And I think that they're doing it in the proper way, though. Very different than how we did, um, you know, going across seas to India and China. What you see is the actual investment into Latin companies, into the startups that are there. So, actual capital that's being deployed to these companies, from Chinese based equity funds and private equity companies. And so they're actually investing massive amounts of money. They're not devaluing them or their ideas. They're saying, we believe in you. We're going to give you some money. And yeah, we might own 30% of it, 30, 40% of it. And what it is it's very smart by China because they're vertically integrating themselves into the
Hmm.
economy of South America. And so even if you wanted to remove them, you're not going to be able to remove them. Asia's always had a very, and particularly Japan has always had a very strong presence in Peru. The ancestry of different Peruvians. If you actually go and look, several of their presidents have been of Japanese descent. You can just go look at this up. They've always been there very heavily, and so now you see the rest of South America that's actually starting to implement, Eastern Asia, not only funds. You see customs. You see a lot more people from those places coming over there and living and setting up shop, and completely different,
Mm.
right? So one of us is playing checkers, and we want to blow everything up, right? And we just want to demand and manually control people and try to do things in a way that seems like 1900,
Mm.
right? And the other one's very intelligent and says, hey, you know what we're going to do is we're going to place ourselves into position to where, yes, they'll be reliant upon us, but we're also going to empower them, and so we can help them to get to a higher place. We'll all make more money. But in doing that, we build a stronger relationship with these countries. And so if it ever comes down that it is a world war again, maybe they might, like, because of positioning, obviously America's right there, so it may be right, but like relationship wise,
Relationships.
they'd probably think more about China. I said this to somebody the other day, and they kind of sat and thought about it with me. But I said, hey, we've seen what it's like to be under American regime, right, for the past 350 years. We saw that there's a certain group of people that do really well under that regime, right? And they'd like to keep it that way. And it's not color or however, whatever, it's just a factual statement. You don't know how it's like to be under a Chinese regime.
Mm.
Now, the propaganda tells you that Chinese people are abused, they're done all this extra stuff, but you don't know how it would be to be under that regime. You assume it would be bad, but you don't know that. So I proposed something. I said, I'm going to give you a thought to think about. What if it actually empowered all of the minorities and the people that are here in this side of the world that have kind of been underprivileged and treated in a certain type of way? What if they actually said, I would like to actually empower you? What would that look
Mm.
like? So maybe you think that you'll be treated a certain way, but maybe the group that's been winning for a very long time on this side of the world, maybe they would be treated in a certain type of way. And so they feel that, but that's not how you would be treated. And the
Hmm.
guy I was talking to was like, that's a deep thought. I never thought about that. I'm like, yeah. And if you don't believe it, look at their actions. China has put their money where their mouth is in Africa. China has put their money where their mouth is in South America.
Hmm.
And these are both places where you see raw materials, right?
Yep.
Precious metals that make up chips, that make up AI. They're very smart. This is a chess game. two, 300 years out that they've planned. And I'll be honest, I don't think America knows what they're doing day to day. I think we just wake up and kind of like,
Go off our feelings.
today I'm gonna bomb Panama. I think I'll just go. Hey, you know what? Canada needs to be the 51st state. We just go and we just,
Hmm.
because that's how we feel that day.
Mm. You know what's interesting? Before we hit record, we're looking at some of the Chinese manufacturers.
Yeah, crazy.
And look, that, how big would that be for Latin America? Not only will we bring you financial backing, AI tech and hardware and stuff like that, but we'll give you access to our manufacturing, our factories. I was showing you the gigantic fabric mall out there. What would that look like if they had access to that?
It would be phenomenal because they have a lot of the resources already in South America.
Yeah.
Even more than the actual factories themselves is the IP, right? The intellectual property that comes with those companies, how to construct those type of factories that are so massive like that. How much solar do you need? How are they converting it? Because China's been ahead in all of these things for years now, right? So it's not just bringing the company and the the overall factory over here. It's the intellectual property of how you run everything. And if you give that information to them and you can start to empower these countries, then they start to come out from under the thumb of being under the United States. Listen, once trade and everything is implemented with China and Russia, with South America, it's going to be a very, very different world.
Mm.
And it's happening right now because you're starting to see South American countries, right? The South American countries, they're not the Latin countries, they're not scared of America per se, right? They're not just because you say I have to do something doesn't mean I actually have to do it.
Hmm.
And I think that's different. We haven't seen that before.
Yeah, I mean, look, China's looking to come in and fill the gap when we're talking about startup funding in Latin America because startup funding in Latin America is down from 16 billion in 2021 to just 5 billion in 2025. So they see that as opportunity to come in and
And that's from
probably get
us,
that.
right? That's
I
American
I
foreign
don't want to
Europe,
specific.
let's say
I
Europe and
would say
America.
Europe and America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Western
Hmm.
civilization, basically. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
That's a fact.
So, if you America, I think we're hyper focused on dominating people, and the last question and something else that I've asked people, and I'll say for this, as we wrap up or whatever. But what does the world look like after 3 more years of this?
Man.
It's only been a year. What does the world look like? What
Only
does
been a
America look
year.
like? What does the economy look like? What does your checking account look like? What does your job look like if you still have it? What is the relations with every other country in the world? Because the United States isn't the only country in the world. I don't know if people know that, but there's other countries with other people, right? So what does that look like after 3 years? Because once that's gone, the consequences of these 4 years, I'm starting to believe it's gonna last. It may have pushed us back some decades.
Mm.
Just being honest.
Yeah,
That's
it's
my
crazy.
opinion. It could be wrong.
Like you said, man, it's been. You would have thought if we were 2, 3 years in, but we still have we haven't even hit a year yet.
We ain't even hit a year yet. It's a year in January. So much is happening, and yeah. What do we always say? You got to be prepared. Do your due diligence, because
You got
man,
to be
3 more years
prepared.
of this, and you might not even have a house. You may not like. Who knows what's happening? Like, who knows?
Who knows? But what we do know is at the beginning of December, we're gonna have a community where we can bring everybody in and God willing help as many people as possible.
If you
This,
want to find out how to
yeah,
do what we're talking about with the way the times are going, we've been speaking on this all the time. If you want to find out how to properly align a business, how to properly align, maybe it's a side business now, but how to make it major and how to actually scale that thing, you need to be in that community. I'm just
these
going to tell you.
questions. these questions are the exact reason why we came together and we thought about this and we decided to execute on it. These exact questions, right? These uncertainties, is the exact reason why we decided to do this. So stay tuned for that. Um, Anything else before we add? This was a great episode, jam packed. Let us know if you guys have any comments, what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. Let us know you think America is making the right decisions when it comes to their conflict with South America. What do you think
And
about
explain
some?
it. And
Explain
explain
it,
it, please. I want
please.
because people just make the comments. I really like. I'm not against the opposite side. I'm
Not at all.
saying state it and then just let us know. Like, what is the explanation of what you're thinking? Because maybe you'll enlighten me, and I'll be like, "Dang, that's true."
That's true. 100%. Look, with that being said, it's the Light and Wealth family. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.